and welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm a good Robert. Thank you so much for joining me. Today on our show, we'll say goodbye to director Mike Nichols, who passed away at the age of 83. An antique Italian organ in Israel has been restored for a special concert. And we'll hear about Hollywood stars turned directors. We begin, of course, with the sad news of director Mike Nichols, who has died earlier at the age of 83. With me in the studio to talk about his career is film critic for Yediot Acharonot, Benjamin Tobias. Thanks for being here, Benjamin.
Thank you for inviting me.
Unfortunately, these are sad circumstances, but Mike Nichols certainly had an illustrious career. How did it all start?
Yeah, it's a very long career. He is originally from Germany. He was born there, and at the age of 7 with his family, they fled to the US, and he started in theater. I mean, even before theater, before being a director, he was an actor, and part of a comedic duo with Elaine Main, which continued to be his collaborator on scripts during all of his career until Primary Colors in the 90s. So they were a great comedic duo. They have been in nightclubs, etc. And then he started to direct plays, like a lot of plays of Neil Simon, for example. So you see already the style, which was a lot of dialogues and very witty. And then he got the offer of his life, which is to direct Who is Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Wonderful film.
Yeah, to do the film adaptation. And what was interesting that the moment that he went to film, he started talking film. I mean, in the sense that it wasn't theatrical plays, theatrical films, but it was films that were also very cinematic and very interesting and used new editing techniques that we saw in the 60s. So there was The Graduate. And again, he had then an uneven career, but still there were a few peaks. Jump 22, Primary Colors, Working Girl.
Catch 22.
Yeah, Catch 22. Working Girl, which also received a lot of Oscars nominations. And
he was an
Birdcage.
actor's director. I mean, thanks to his experience as an actor.
Yeah, exactly. When you hear that, say, Julia Roberts or Natalie Portman, which also acted for him and Close, or when you hear of them talk about him, they say, "Oh, he's our love of our life. He's the guy that really taught us acting."
Yeah, you know what? We have a clip of Natalie Portman, who, as you said, worked with him on several projects. She spoke when the American Film Institute handed out its Life Achievement Award to Mike Nichols. Let's take a look.
In The Seagull, I learned to trust my instincts, and in Closer, I learned how to pole dance, two things that are incredibly useful in this economy. But on a serious note, it is a testament, and you've bitched about this before, that no one talks about it. It is your humanity and your artistry that all of us love to work with you again and again. And it is a great gift to be under your guidance as a director and as a friend. I love you.
He made some comedies, he made some dramas. I think, without a doubt, the peak of his career was The Graduate, or his most famous film. Why is The Graduate so important?
Well, I think that The Graduate, aside being a very, very good film, very well written, it's also a film that came in the height of the counterculture in the US, and maybe it's a film that embodies the most the sexual revolution of the late 60s, and also the cinematic revolution. I mean, you see here a film which is very, very well written, but again, all the tension comes out in cinematic techniques that remind us of European cinema and something that really shows us a society that is going to explode. And of course, this is the film that discovered to the world Dustin Hoffman. So that he got also this goes to the credit of Mike Nichols.
Certainly, as so many other things, and he was very well respected. He won. Numerous awards. He achieved the EGOT. Yeah.
EGOT, which is, of course,
Emmy, Grammy, Tony, and an Oscar.
Yeah, people tend to forget he also is the guy that directed the Angels of America, Tony Kushner, and he also revolutionized TV. When you say today that we're in the golden age of TV, also it's thanks to him. He showed that TV can be serious, can be compared to film with great actors like Meryl Streep, Al Pacino. So again, this is something that we can credit Mike Nichols to.
Certainly will be missed. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for coming in today.
Thank you.
Moving on, different matters now. St. Peter's Church in Jaffa played host this week to one of the concerts from the Israel International Organ Festival. The music was performed on one of the oldest organs in the region. David Gombin and Anthony Lesme were there to bring us the story behind this exceptional instrument.
At first glance, you might think it's a regular concert like so many others. But if you knew the age of the organ, which in fairness does not look that old, you'd actually be very impressed. It's the oldest organ recorded in Israel's history. For the concert, this Agati organ had to be transported from Jerusalem, where it had been since 1847.
We carry this organ, the oldest in the Holy Land, which was preserved and abandoned in another place. We decided to bring it here mostly because at St. Peter's Church there was no organ.
It wasn't an easy task to move such a precious and unique organ. To make this happen, Brother Ricardo appealed to the single organ builder in Israel, Gideon Shamir.
This organ was transferred from Jerusalem to the information center in Jaffa. I was asked to dismantle, transfer it, and reassemble it. I immediately said I did not feel comfortable because it's not my style of organ, and it would be better to get someone who knows specifically what style of organ it is.
And it was this man, Nicola Puccini, an expert organ tuner and builder, who was brought all the way from Pisa, where he lives, to resurrect the organ.
In this specific case, the organ was a victim of poor handling in the past. I don't know why. It probably had problems at the tunnel that lies at the bottom of the bed, which was replaced with modern materials. But at the level of the pipes of the organ, it was relatively intact. So we dismantled it, and we realized that the boots were clogged, so a lot of air was lost. We repaired it with the help of Gideon, and then we gave the organ its proper pressure.
A moving work for this passionate Tuscan who came to the Holy Land.
It's also my first time here, and I am moved somehow. A Tuscan organ in the Holy Land, it's something we don't see every day.
The organ is ready for the concert, but another Italian was called in as a reinforcement for the concert. Eugenio Maria Fagiani is an organist at the Verdi Orchestra of Milan. He is specialist on this type of organ.
In fact, I'm very happy to play it because in our sanctuary we undertook a particular editorial approach for the music of this period designed for these instruments. So it's really good to be able to have it here too.
This is the first time these powerful music chords from this 1847 Agati resonate in Jaffa. With this unusual festival, the first, but surely not the last, for an organ that excels history.
Now let's stay with music. He's been called one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Multi-Grammy Award-winning musician Carlos Santana has just released a revealing new memoir, The Universal Tone, Bringing My Story to Light is its title. Daniel Campos has the details.
In 1969, a young Mexican guitarist took the stage with his band at Woodstock. The performance would become a historical one. The world would come to know the name Carlos Santana. His fresh and instantly recognizable guitar sound, along with his legendary band that blended electric blues, psychedelic rock, and rhythms from south of the border, would become symbols of what many critics described as Chicano rock. This November, Carlos Santana has released his unforgettable memoirs, The Universal Tone, a rare intimate glimpse into his life with personal stories filled with colorful detail and life lessons. In the book, he traces his journey from a humble childhood in Tijuana, Mexico, often going hungry without food, growing up with 7 brothers and sisters, and playing music as a teen for bar strippers in Tijuana, being molested there by an American tourist, and working as a San Francisco dishwasher before exploding on the world scene.
Played by Carlos Santana.
After great success, Santana had some slow moments in his career, but in 1999 he released the album Supernatural, which garnered 9 Grammy Awards, considered one of the most amazing career comebacks in popular music history. His memoirs helped clarify why he has always been a man with social awareness. In 2013, he went in search for Marcus Malone, a friend and former bandmate turned homeless. Santana has also donated more than $5 million through his Milagro Foundation for Children's Programs. The 67-year-old rock legend is now Las Vegas resident with drummer wife Cindy Blackman. In May earlier this year, he released his 37th album titled Corazon, an album which celebrates his Latin roots. Now it's time for his fans to explore his sweet and sour memoirs, a book published in honor and dedication to his mother, Josefina Santana, the woman who taught him convictions and values which now he passes on to millions of fans from around the world.
In a moment, we'll hear about actors going behind the camera, but first, our cultural recommendation for the day.
Jean-Michel Gondry's world is dedicated to the work of the film director better known for his work on Björk's music videos and the film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. In this exhibition, you will have access to the creative world in 2 different spaces. Part 1, the Home Movie Factory, a workshop-type exhibition where you will be challenged to create your own original film with a range of different sets. Part 2, Around the World in 19 Videos, an installation featuring Gondry's best-known music videos and drawings of his latest work.
Perfect fit there between Gondry and Tokyo. Now it's time for Shachar Peled's segment, Off-Screen. Hey, Shachar.
Hi, Oded.
It's sad that you didn't plan on Mike Nichols.
It's true, but still a tribute in our segment today to Mike Nichols, who was an actor turned director. And of course, I hope you talked about the fact that he had an EGOT, one of the 12 men with an EGOT, so he was all over the place. But we're talking about actors turned directors, which is what we might say a Hollywood tradition.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start focusing on this week's news. Hollywood is sort of in turmoil. Will it be losing one of its most beautiful, gorgeous faces on screen? We, of course, are speaking about Angelina Jolie, the actress who this week told Du Jour magazine that she is absolutely planning on leaving the screen in the future. She said she's never been comfortable as an actor. In fact, quote, "I've never loved being in front of the camera." Apparently.
Something smells fishy here. I don't know if I buy it.
Well, she's certainly on the right track. At 39, Julie is already with 2 features under her belt. We remember the 2011 In the Land of Blood and Honey and the just premiered Unbroken, a war drama. And there's another third in production. The name was released this week. It's called By the Sea. It's a movie she both wrote and directed and is starring in alongside one Brad Pitt. And this would be
a family affair.
It is. And it will be a nice reunion ever since their first, infamous Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Let's hope it's better.
Let's hope it is better. By the Sea, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, as we said, she's going on a very well-trodden path in Hollywood. We can set some examples for, we can see those who stick with it to become better known in the latter as directors. So we can give examples like Ron Howard, who we remember from Happy Days, but better from Splash and from Apollo 13. Rob Reiner began as an actor. Sofia Coppola began as an actress in her father's film.
Well, yeah, she didn't really was given a choice there.
And there are those, exactly, there's those who scratch at the itch, but don't necessarily long enough to stay behind the camera. And unfortunately, I can give an example here of Tom Hanks. Personally, I loved That Thing You Do, but others loved it less. And I think Larry Crowne was the best signal for Hanks to go back
Stay
in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And John Malkovich also had a try but a short feature film, but that's it. The granddaddy of actors to directors, Clint Eastwood, of course. I think managing a strike of on screen and behind the screen. We have seen him on screen since 1971. Of course, we remember 1992, his award-winning directing of $1 Million Baby, and he's continuing this year. We've seen already Jersey Boys, that was already released, and American Sniper, soon to be released, but already generating great Oscar buzz.
Yeah, he was a huge star as an actor too. That's the thing.
He's continuing to be a great director, and we still see him on screen sometime. Maybe it's the itch for growth and promotion as an actor into a director.
All right. Thank you so much, Jaffa.
Thank you.
Thank you at home for joining us as well. I hope you enjoyed our show and that you'll choose to join us again next week.